Regarding President Trump, if there's one thing everybody from both sides and all the world can agree on, is that man knows he's president. There is no question about that. And he runs his administration with an iron fist. There's no question about that. Everybody knows that he brought the CEO to Washington. So he's done a real good job putting this administration together. All of the people are really stepping up. I mean, you look at Holman and Christie, Noam, everybody across the board, they're all doing a great job. Hegseth, all of these people, except for Pam Bondi. A lot of us have been upset with Pam Bondi because we are not seeing the prosecutions that we've been demanding, that we have every right to expect. We demand equal justice under the law. We aren't getting it. Is Trump using her as the lightning rod? Is he letting her take all the heat while knowing full well that he's given her the order not to do it? I have a lot of reasons for not liking Pam Bondi. That doesn't factor in this discussion. The point is, Trump is in charge. He is firmly in charge. He was already in charge for 4 years, so now we're finishing the 5th year of Trump in the White House without ever prosecuting one top Democrat. We got Shifty Schiff, we got Hillary, we got Pelosi. There's a lot of big Democrats that are crooked. The entire Biden family, there was 10 of them that got money from foreign sources directly to Biden family members through shell corporations. There was no product, no other business conducted by these corporations. It was all money laundering. We know this. We've got Hillary with the illegal server that she had hidden. Didn't want anybody to know about it, even though all the Democrats knew about it. At the top, it was an open secret. We got Hillary in Benghazi. We've got Hillary back with the crooked uranium deals. She was paid to play while she was in the State Department. She was paid to play all the way. We lost $1 billion worth of small arms in Yemen under her watch. Nothing was ever done. It wasn't even investigated. Nothing with Hillary is ever investigated. Hillary has been dirty. Look at what she did in Benghazi. She's getting away with everything. Obama, he did plenty. We know that. He shouldn't even been in there. If everybody would have done their job, he wouldn't have been, because we know that birth certificate was fake. That's water under the bridge. Biden, when he gave that Bagwan Air Force Base over to the Taliban that we've been fighting for 20 years, he surrendered that. He gave aid and comfort to an enemy. That is the only crime defined in our Constitution, and that is treason. Our Constitution is very clear on the definition of treason. Article 3, Section 3, treason against the United States shall consist only in levying war against them or in adhering to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort. Well, what do you call it when you give them the world's biggest state-of-the-art Air Force base with $85 billion worth of state-of-the-art equipment? That is treason. Trump, you will not use the word. You let Biden off on that one. You let them all off on everything. That is pure treason by textbook definition. Giving aid and comfort to the enemy. Not only did he give them aid and comfort by surrendering, taking our troops out of there and giving them $85 billion in equipment, war equipment, military equipment, state-of-the-art stuff, plus a huge base that's strategically located right where we needed it. Why won't Trump go after top Democrats? You don't even have to be an actual top Democrat. You can just be related to one. 10 Biden family members, most of them Americans have never heard of, but they're all protected because they're related to a president. Can't even get Hunter, and his crimes are the jokes of comedians. They're so obvious and so well known. All you've got to do is just make sure you're related to a top Democrat, and you are safe under the Trump administration. It is glaringly obvious. Mr. Trump, I did not want to say this. I've kept my mouth shut all this time just hoping something would change. You are protecting them. Evidently, justice is for just us. The nameless, faceless Americans, the ones that make this country work, the ones that pay all the taxes, we're the ones that are subject to prosecution. Justice is for just us. Of course, we do have to admit that Trump did feel the long arm of the law. When they were trying to prosecute him, they were making up crimes. They worked harder to prosecute imaginary crimes than Trump is working to prosecute real crimes committed by them. The man was a victim. His family was a victim. They raided his home in Mar-a-Lago. They dug through his wife's underwear drawers. And he still won't prosecute them? What is blocking this guy's mind that makes him feel like Democrats are too big to jail? What is he afraid of? I don't care what it is. There is no answer that is good enough. These people need to be prosecuted. Let the chips fall where they may. I'm a little upset with the fact that he campaigned for the first time on lock her up, lock her up, lock her up. We all expected that. We just knew it. We had 110% confidence. Finally, we were going to see some justice, equal justice under the law. Lock her up. Well, here's what Trump has come to say about this since that day.
You know, with Hillary Clinton, I could have done things to her that would have made your head spin. I thought it was a very bad thing. Take the wife of a president of the United States and put her in jail. And then I see the way they treat me. That's the way it goes. But I was very protective of her. Nobody would understand that, but I was. I think my people understand it. They used to say, lock her up, and I'd say, just relax, please. We won the election. I think it would be I think it would have been horrible for our country and we had her between the hammering of all of the files. And don't forget, she got a subpoena from the United States Congress. And then, after getting the subpoena, she destroyed everything that she was supposed to get. I thought it was so bad to take her and put her in jail, the wife of a president of the United States. And then, when it's my turn, nobody thinks that way.
So the MAGA people were saying that, and he tried to tone it down. That's the story he's giving now? That is not how I remember it. Trump campaigned on lock her up. He would start the cheers at his rallies. Lock her up, and the whole crowd would erupt. We got a lot of people crossing over from the Democrats because they wanted to see equal justice. Equal justice under the law, nobody being above the law, is a critical component of a free society, a representative republic. We do not have that. This is so important to free societies. Clear back in the year 1215 with the Magna Carta, the first document in world history that codified liberties and justice for a free society, the Magna Carta. It was issued against King John by the nobles because the king was exempt from all laws. They straightened a lot of that out. It's one of the reasons that the King of England doesn't have any real power anymore, is because they built on that Magna Carta. America is going the other way. We do not have equal justice under the law. We have people that are too big to jail. Trump has admitted that. He admitted, you saw it right there in his own words, he admitted he did not jail Hillary because he just didn't think that would be good for the country. Mr. President, equal justice is good for the country. Letting all these elites off, no matter what crimes they commit, giving them immunity, putting them above the law, that is not good for the country. A harmless old Mexican that crosses the border illegally just to pick vegetables in California gets in more trouble, faces more justice for violating the law than Hillary does for Benghazi, getting those people killed, than Pelosi does for orchestrating everything that happened on January 6th. Ashley Babbitt was murdered inside the Capitol building because of events orchestrated by Pelosi. Your home was raided, and you let these people off? They don't even get as much punishment as a minor league border jumper? Just how elite and special do you think these people are? We do not agree with you. We do not have your lofty opinion of these people. We do not believe that they are above the law in the sense that you do. We do not believe they are above the law in any sense. Why are you doing this? Pam Bondi should resign if she had any integrity at all. She should resign and say, the president won't let me prosecute Democrats. Or, if you don't think she's doing her job and you want it done, why don't you drag her in the office and give her the old trip to the woodshed, spank her, and get rid of her? We're getting some seeds of doubt among your own most devout supporters because of the fact those 5 years, you've never hired a good AG. You have never seated an AG that came from outside the swamp. You were going to drain the swamp, you use it for an employee pool. You were going back there time after time. Jeff Sessions, come on. A career Republican politician, an establishment man, and you tapped him? I was upset when you did it. And the only reason you asked for his resignation because, oh, you got to give them their dignity. You can't just fire them. They're above the law too, evidently. Trump, you're showing a real elitist side that is causing erosion in your support. You have got to fix this. Americans do not want to see two-tier justice system, and you are keeping it alive and well. You're codifying it. You put Bill Barr in there to replace Sessions. You told him, get in there, get the job done. We thought there would be justice. Within 2 weeks of arriving, Barr said, well, they completed their investigation. There's no evidence that Hillary ever committed any crimes. That was like slapping all of us. That was bitch slapping all of us. We all knew better. We all knew it was a sham, and you never said a word. You took it lying down. Later on now, you come back, and J.D. Vance, there's the same recordings of J.D. Vance out there saying that you guys have had those conversations, that you did not want to jail the wife of an ex-president. They're above the law in your own words. You said that yourself. You couldn't do that. You didn't think it'd be good for the country. Injustice is bad for the country, Mr. President. Right now, there are people that were 110% behind you that are now only 80% behind you because the cracks are showing. You do not believe in equal justice. You believe that there are people above the law. You will not prosecute elitists. This is your Achilles heel. This is your weakness. Being an elitist, you feel like it's okay to protect the others? I don't know how you people think. I don't want to know because it is a disease. It's a disease that you're infecting our system with. Nobody is above the law, Mr. President. We knew that back in 1215, over 800 years ago. Free people were demanding equal justice. It has been a very strong component of the American system, our founding principles. Equal justice under the law. We are not getting it from you. You are the one putting the exclamation point on the fact that it does not exist. You had Hillary dead to rights. She got subpoenas and destroyed 33,000 emails. She thumbed her nose at Congress. She thumbed her nose at the whole country. That was obstruction of justice times 33,000 charges. Each separate email deleted was a separate charge. 33,000 charges, and you let her off? You told Barr to stand down? That is obstruction of justice and a federal investigation. That's a very serious crime. We would get locked up. You are letting elites go for crimes that we would go to prison for. Yeah, you did good getting the January 6th people off, but this is a troubling element that has really begun to emerge. You did that because they were on your side. You have Pam Bondi out there now, blind stare Bondi, evidently your lapdog, just like everybody is saying. She's out there prosecuting everybody that's an enemy of yours as long as they're not top tier. Of course, Biden is a top tier enemy, so you're not going after that whole damn family, 10 of them. You're not going after them because they're top tier. But however, Comey, Letitia James, probably Tim Walz at some point, All the lower tier Democrats that aren't at your lofty level, yeah, they're open season. Go get them, Pam. And then Pam Barr will give a news conference. Yes, we intend to prosecute because nobody is above the law. She's lying. Mr. President, you are not being honest with us. You do not believe in equal justice until you demonstrate it. You have the opportunity every day. We're not seeing it. You haven't shown it to us. Pam Bondi would be fired if you were not happy with her work. That means that her protecting these people and failing to prosecute, she doesn't have to bring all the charges at once. She should have started a RICO investigation if she was serious about going after corruption. That's how Rudy Giuliani brought down the 5 families. Trump, you know what a RICO investigation is. When you declare that, people come running in with the evidence. They bring the evidence to you because they don't want to be the last one caught holding the bag after all the charges are filed. They bring the evidence because they know they're all going down. So Bondi hasn't called for a RICO investigation. She hasn't begun one. You should be calling for it, Mr. President. Yeah, we understand you've got some supporters out there that don't know anything about the law that are running cover for you. They're saying stupid things like, well, they've got to complete the investigation. They can't get a judge. What these foolish people don't realize is you can run with the evidence you've already got. If the Democrats have evidence by noon, they've got charges filed by 3. We've got evidence that goes back years, and the easy ones that already have the evidence accumulated, they aren't even being filed. These people are above the law because you approve of it. If you don't approve of it, then you order Bondi to do something about it because our confidence in you as a warrior for justice is seriously eroded. And the problem with that is once you diminish our confidence in you, once we begin to get suspicious of your root causes, it makes us look a little closer at everything else. We have to open our eyes to be sensitive to deviations from honesty and integrity in every facet of everything you do. We don't want that. We want to be able to believe in you. You're not making that possible. In your own words, you're not making that possible. And that's a sad day for America. It's a sad day for you because you have every opportunity to be one of the most beloved presidents in the history of the country. We're 1 year into a 4-year term after 4 other years of no prosecution. It's happening again. We're not satisfied with this, Mr. President. If you can't get Bondi to prosecute top Dems, fire her. Get somebody that will. Get Matt Whitaker back. Get a real pit bull. But this nonsense that you're supporting, that you're controlling from the top, of these people being too big to jail, that doesn't fly with us. Mr. President, we are not happy. We don't want to have to call you out, but you haven't left us a choice. Fix this. We got to get this right, my friends. We got to put the pressure on it because all it is justice. They're going to let these criminals escape again. We have to dial up the pressure. It's our job as citizens to hold these people accountable. All of them work for us. We have to get this right. And if we do, and maybe God will continue to bless this great country of ours. If we don't demand equal justice under the law, we don't deserve to have America. God bless this country.